of you who don't know me, I am not Nicole Kidman on anabolic steroids. No, my name is Varla Jean Mermen, star of stage and screen. Please hold your applause. Well, I was thrilled when Pink Sonoma called my people. That's how I work. And they asked me to make some blinis. Well, I love blinis, so I ran out and I bought some Prosecco and some peach juice. Now, imagine my surprise when this came in the mail. A Gary Danko Blini kit. Blini, a Russian pancake. Now, do I look like the type of woman who could make a Russian pancake? Don't answer that. I know, strong like bull. But it is true, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if I could do it, even though the instructions are so easy and put together that you could make it. I shouldn't be making Russian pancakes. I've obviously been drinking for several hours, give or take 47 years. So I thought, what could I do? How could I find a chef as exquisite as Gary Danko? Well, it turns out Gary Danko is very familiar with me. He has kicked me out of his restaurant on several occasions. And so I had a few of my big burly friends put Gary in the trunk of my Toyota Camry, and he is with us today. So Gary, come on in. He has a slight head injury. Gary, thank you for helping me out. You know, I'd rather watch. I love to watch. Look how tall Gary is.
Yes.
Oh, I look petite.
And no pump.
No, I look like Ariana Grande's grandmother. Yes, so how do we make these blinis? And the kit comes with everything. What do I need to buy?
So basically the kit comes with the smoked salmon with the Osetra caviar from Sustainable Source in Sacramento Delta. The caviar and the salmon we use in the restaurant. And then we have the kits. I basically divided it into two kits. And we're going to do a two-bowl method today, which seems odd to a lot of people.
Two-bowl method? Well, two is better than one, I suppose, in anything.
Well, you know, a lot of people have commented that these blinis are better than sex, so I thought it would be worth waiting for.
Well, let's have both and we'll find out.
Exactly.
So, why are we using two different bowls of batters?
Well, basically, there's a few reasons that when you make anything with yeast, you don't want salt to hit the yeast immediately so it dies, and then also there's 2 egg yolks in this, and the yolks tend to cling around the yeast and keep them from activating.
Yes.
Otherwise, you would have a crepe, which would be delicious as well.
Well, I've been known to have a yeast problem myself, but let's not talk about that right now.
I've noticed there's a shortage of yeast these days because I think everybody's home baking and cooking, so.
Oh, really? Everyone?
Everyone except for, that's right, drag queens don't cook.
No, are you kidding?
Oh, no.
So what do we do?
These bowls look like you molded off to you.
Just look at that.
So now we're going to do a two bowl batter here. And basically you want to mix them and then they're going to sit for an hour. And that's what they call proofing. And so historically you would proof yeast to make sure that it was alive. With the new yeast, and if you're making this without buying the kit, the recipe's online, but it's called rapid yeast or whatever, and then there's the German version here. So
okay, and this comes in the kit?
The kit, it already comes in the package number 1.
You thought of everything.
So basically in package number 1 is the flour. So we have a cup of white flour, and then I'm going to add sugar. So sugar adds food to the yeast.
Okay.
Okay, and as well there's starch in the flour that adds food as well, and then we're going to add the yeast. So
when do we get to eat them?
Well, that takes a little while, so you'll have time to do your nails in between proofing.
They're done.
Have a few more glasses of rosé.
Yes. Oh, delicious. Yes.
So now we're going to start with basically the batter, and I have here a cup of milk, and I've warmed it to baby bottle temperature, and I know that you know that because you've raised a lot of children.
Oh, yes, I've nursed several today.
And so basically we have, this is my choice of weapon here.
Oh my goodness.
This is called a balloon whisk.
Okay.
And use it typically to beat egg whites, but I like it because it's very efficient in mixing. So we're going to start here and just mix it. And we're going to start and we're going to pour almost all of the liquid in there, and we're going to just beat it until it's very smooth.
Okay.
All right, so I'm not stopping, I'm just going and going. You know, the thing is that depending on what part of the country you are in, if it's moist out, you're not going to need as much milk, but what you're looking for is, you see how the whisk marks stay in there for a minute?
Yes.
And then they slowly disappear. So basically that's batter number 1. We're going to put a cover on it, and we're going to basically just move that over here, and it's going to sit, and that sits for about an hour. The next one is a cup of buckwheat flour.
Buckwheat.
Buckwheat. You remember buckwheat?
Oh, yes, I do.
Anyhow, buckwheat is the sort of grain they use in Russia, I think before they had wheat available. It's a flavor that it's very strong in buckwheat, so I mix the flour and half, a cup of buckwheat. So in this one, we're going to take 2 egg yolks.
2 egg yolks, okay.
We're just going to set them right there, and then we're going to add 3/4 of a cup or 6 ounces of milk and do the same exact thing. So this is something you do in the morning.
Okay, yes.
And you basically let it sit for an hour, and then you're going to combine them and then add the whipped egg whites from the two eggs, and then 4 tablespoons of heavy cream. So this is the same thing. See, this is a little tight.
Yes. Yeah. No one's ever said that to me, Gary.
Well, not recently. Anyhow, I'm just going to add the other one, but you want to go by texture. So, all right. So this is where I want it. All right, so basically you can go lay down, and
I'm exhausted, Gary. I'm exhausted.
Then we're going to fast forward to the proofed batter. So I'm going to just get rid of this. So this is what it looks like an hour later.
Oh.
And so basically the fermentation period helps, activate the yeast, but it also develops the flavor in the batter. So you want to do that. So we have this one here, and then we're going to take so these have all rested an hour.
Yes.
You basically want to cover them just to keep them from crusting over. So what you want to do is take the buckwheat and put it into the yeast batter here. And then I just leave that there. I take the egg whites, which I'm going to then beat, and I started beating them just gently. Because it makes a lot of noise. So anyway, I just want to whip these up until they're light and frothy.
The egg whites.
Correct. Just 2 egg whites and the 2 yolks. And you want to get soft cubes on them. So you see how efficient this whisk is?
I see, the balloon whisk. Who knew?
We do soufflés in the restaurant, and I have had people that go to the gym every day and are muscle people.
Yeah.
They cannot beat the egg whites on that. So as lean as I seem.
You're a very strong
So anyhow, we're going to put
chef.
this here. Just put it on top.
Okay.
A lot of people have a tendency to want to mix it, but then we're going to whip the cream in the same manner, basically. So just 4 tablespoons of cream. I'm just going to whip it like this. Obviously, I put air into both of these. It's going to help make a lighter batter. All right, so perfect. So they basically have this. And then we're going to fold. So basically, you want to cut down straight like this. Fold, fold, fold. And one thing you can see is that this is a very sticky batter.
Yeah, I see that.
But it's just keep going till it's homogeneous and it all looks. I love this brown.
It's beautiful. It's marbled.
I love it so much. I painted my house in what they call buckwheat. So it's a beautiful color.
And this is a signature dish at the Gary Danko restaurant.
Correct. So you can get it with smoked salmon, or you can order it with 3 or 4 different types of caviar.
It's delicious.
So I don't mix it completely. You see a little bit of egg white floating in there. And then basically this gets covered again. And then on to the proofing period.
The proofing period.
So I basically take this and I will put it, just cover it and leave it until my party that night. So I usually make it in the morning. So most of your work is done up front.
Ooh.
Which is how restaurants work and how we are efficient that way. So
yes.
So anyhow,
See, I wait to the last minute to do everything, Gary.
Wow. So this is covered for an hour or however long you want to take it, and then boom, it ends up.
Oh my gosh, it grew.
It grew. Look at that. And so you can see how beautiful the webbing is on this. It's incredible, but I want you to see how sticky this is. You see it, and it just goes back down into. So if you touch it, so this is what they call gluten, that strand. That's what allows bread to rise, etc. So basically, this one's ready to go. We're then gonna fill. We also include with it a bottle, like a squirt bottle. It's basically like a sawed-off tip on this, and then we fill with Blini batter in here.
Okay.
Correct. So I want to put it. You want to make sure when you put stuff in here that you do it close to when you're going to prepare them. Otherwise, the yeast will erupt.
Oh, it'll blow up.
You've been there.
Yes, I have that.
So yeah, we're just going to fill that, and the easiest way I find is just to take a spoon and then just kind of spoon it in here.
Yes.
In the restaurant, we use what we call I call it a Blini gun.
Blini gun.
It's also known as a pancake plopper is what we also call it.
Oh, gorgeous.
So this basically is something that will disperse the sticky batter very easily. Not everyone
Starting to turn me on, Gary.
And you'll see it will just cut you a little
Oh,
donut.
oh, yes.
So anyhow, when we're making like 50 of these at a time, we can go boom, 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 boom.
Right, but in the kit, we get one of these sawed-off.
Correct.
Okay.
You know, and those work pretty well. The same thing. You're just going to do exactly the same thing. You want to, you know, if you put it in there like half an hour before, you want to just kind of tap it, just to settle it as you saw that dough went down.
Right.
And then you want to let it go in there, and then you're just going to squirt it into the batter, just like a tablespoon.
Yummy. Okay.
Into the hot clarified butter.
Clarified butter. Now, what is clarified butter?
Clarified butter. Well, you know butter, right? Boom, boom, boom,
Gary,
right?
Look at this skin and the shiny coat.
I don't know if you've ever made an omelet before and you put a tablespoon or two of butter in there and the high heat takes it and it browns all the butter and you got burning stuff going on.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Because you don't cook that. Try it sometime. Put a tablespoon of butter, turn the heat on. And basically, I've sort of shown you right here what it is, that butter is 80 to 82% butter fat.
Okay.
And so that's basically the clarified butter. On the top, you have the milk solids. I know you're going to drink it because I get you a straw.
Yeah,
but I didn't. And so at the bottom here is the water because water is heavier and it will sink to the bottom.
Okay.
So what we do is we decant it and then we end up with that beautiful,
that
beautiful clear
and
clarified
this comes in the
butter.
kit as well.
Correct.
Wonderful.
So anyhow, the benefit of this is that, you know, obviously butter gives you flavor, but whole butter you can only heat it to about 350 and then it starts to decompose. This butter you can get it up to 450, so you can fry it, you know, because if you put water in the butter into the pan, it's going to sizzle and sparkle.
I bet it's a great makeup remover as well.
And this is similar to ghee like they use in India. Ghee's a little more cooked and a little more caramelized, but this will stay in your refrigerator for months.
Oh, good.
So if you want to make an omelet, you just go, turn your pan on high, put the butter, eggs, omelet.
Got it.
All right, so the next part is that we're going to, I'll show you how to do the salmon after that, but I have to wash my hands.
Wash your hands.
All right, thank you.
We'll be right back. Take your time, Gary. Oh, Gary, you're back. You're back. You're back. Delicious.
All right, Varla, so you're ready?
What, are we now at Folsom? What's happening?
I'm also a doctor too, but no, we're going to deal with the salmon here because basically this comes pre-sliced and cryovac.
And this comes in the kit.
Correct. So basically I just cut it through the back here and then I'm just going to flip it out onto the, top of this because I want to be able to peel the salmon off, so.
And you use the glove. Why?
Well, I don't want you to go to your show tonight smelling like fish. So you
Probably
can
smell like worse.
You can smell what it smells like. It's delicious on the nose.
Yes, but you wouldn't want any of your body parts to smell like that.
So anyhow, before you cook the blinis, you want to get your salmon, and basically I take it and I make it into these little piles here. And so what happens is that, you know, when the blinis are coming fresh out of the hot clarified butter, all fried and crisp, we can just take them, set them on there, and do it very quickly. Because these are best enjoyed hot.
Hot, yeah.
You know, very hot. So, also with that, we the kit comes some creme fraiche in this little thing, and then we have the Osetra caviar. Again, this is sustainable caviar from the Sacramento Delta, and Ali makes this for us. So you can just see that basically. We have a nice ounce here.
Oh, an ounce of caviar in the kit.
So you guys, you know, caviar is basically the roe of the sturgeon. And so this is Osetra, and there are three types you can get: Beluga, Osetra, or Sevruga.
Okay.
And those are named after the species of sturgeon in which they come from. Because sturgeons are the dinosaurs of the ocean. So anyhow, the Beluga you can't consume in the US, it's illegal until they make it sustainable, but this is the Osetra. Smaller
Beluga's
species.
illegal?
And yeah, so,
Okay.
Anyhow, the thing is when you get really busy, you know, also comes a mother of pearl spoon.
Oh my God.
This would make some nice
The details,
earrings
Gary, the
for you.
details.
Anyhow, you're supposed to just spoon it on, but when we go very quickly, I like to take a plastic bag and I put the caviar into a bag like this.
Okay.
And so basically when you do it, you can just squirt right down and you can squeeze it right on top very quickly. Because caviar is very sticky, and so And then the creme fraiche, you can see my baggy remnants here. This is gonna go down on the blini. We're gonna put the salmon on top, and then that, and then some chopped chives.
Delicious. Well, can we make the blinis? What do we do with the
We're ready.
pancake? We're ready.
We're ready. Also, if you have pancake batter left over, they're beautiful the next day for breakfast pancakes with maple syrup.
We'll have to spend the night.
So save your batter. All right, so we're gonna move to the stove and I'll show you how to do all that.
Wonderful.
Ready to do it. So basically we have our sliced smoked salmon ready. I have my creme fraiche and my caviar here. And then I have clarified butter. And I'm just gonna do this. So in the restaurant, when we cook something, we heat the pans without any fat in them. You don't want to heat them too high, but it just helps you when you're ready to cook, do so also. So I put butter in there. You see the pan's hot and it ripples like that. But what's important for these blinis is that you have a complete sheet of oil like this. So anyhow, we're gonna try it. And so when the batter hits the clarified butter in the pan, it should start cooking immediately. So this looks like it should. I'm gonna try one with the blini plopper.
I'll get my sawed-off.
And then you get your other home versions because you're learning to cook. And
yes.
So all right, you can see it.
Look at that. It's kind of disgusting. The sound.
I'm getting like free-form shaped here, but okay, there's one right there.
Ooh, that sound. Okay,
so you see how they're frying immediately? So go ahead and just go straight down in and just put a tablespoon or so in there. All right, and I'm gonna shake it, I'm gonna move it.
God, I'm a natural.
And you're gonna do another one right here.
Okay, right here.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh my God.
In the morning for breakfast, pancakes, they're larger, but same process. So the next part is that you want to look at the blini, and what do you see happen? You see all the bubbles?
The bubbles.
So that means it's cooking, and basically it's forcing all of the moisture out of them, and they're surfacing on the top. What you don't want to do is have a raw blini batter in the center, but what you're looking for is that you want, sometimes they connect like that. You want to basically have them golden brown, and I can see they're not quite golden brown there.
Right.
Also here I have a paper towel, and then I have my creme fraiche caviar and chives ready to go.
Ready to go.
These have to be eaten hot, as you've known in the restaurant, because they're not very good cold. All right, we're gonna look at one of these and see how it's doing. So this one I'm gonna flip.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Not quite as golden as I want it.
Right.
But notice on this that it has a ridge around it.
Right.
And that occurs because there's enough clarified butter in there to float it and for it to dip in there. And so in essence, that holds a little dot of creme fraiche and everything, but mostly it gives you a very crisp edge. Yeah. And so the beauty of these blinis are that you have a crisp blini, buckwheat flavored. You've got the flavor of the clarified butter.
Yes.
And then you have the salty, smoky salmon, and then the briny algae.
Hurry up, I'm hungry, come on.
I know, look.
Oh, they're beautiful.
All right.
Oh my God.
So you want to make sure you flip away from you instead of splatting oil all over you. So as a chef, I can touch things.
Ooh, they're like Kim Kardashian color.
So you just shake them a little, and then we're going to look at the bottom of them.
Okay.
So very quickly, oops, that one's not ready, but we're just waiting for that. So.
Delicious.
All right.
We get it ready to go.
So these you're going to handle like a pastry bag. You're going to put them here, and you're going to put just a little dot, unless you want to have a pearl necklace all over your breast.
That's
You'll
later.
have too much creme fraiche dripping all over you. So. All right. And then I'm going to put the blini on there, and then, okay, just a little more, and then we're ready. So, okay, so we're just going to turn this off, and I'm going to move this over here. You can put just a little dot, like the size of a dime.
Like that much?
Correct. And so then I'm just going to take this, and we're going to put it right on top.
Oh my God, amazing. Okay.
And then we're going to take the caviar.
Caviar.
And remember, you're the one on control, so if you want a lot of caviar,
oh, I love a lot.
you can do that. But
okay, delicious.
All right, so why don't you have one?
Ooh.
Oops, I forgot the chives.
Oh gosh, yes.
You maybe don't like green on your stuff, but they do add a little bit of flavor. So.
Gosh. Look how elegant I look. Delicious, Gary. Oh my God. And where do we get this kit?
On Instagram, you can go on Gary Danko Instagram. There's only one, the real Gary Danko, but these are perfect with your rosé. Where did your rosé go? Oh, there it is.
They are delicious. This has been Varla Jean Mermen with the 2nd annual Pink Sonoma. Cheers, them. Bye. Eric, you can have me the wine.